of this book, The Bully's Trap, is here to educate all of us about bullying in the workplace. That's right now on Sonoran Living.
Well, have you ever been bullied at work? Well, if you have, our next guest says that you can stop it, and he's going to tell you how. He wrote this book all about it, and we're going to talk to him. That's coming up next on Sonoran Living. Thanks for watching. We'll be right back.
We have all heard about bullies in school, but what about bullies in the workplace? Our next guest says it has happened, and it in fact happened to him, and he is here to tell us about his experience. He wrote a book about it.
That's right. Andrew Faas is with us. He is the author of The Bully's Trap. And I am so glad that you're here. First of all, welcome to Sonoran Living.
Well, thank you.
Why did you decide to write this book? I understand that this is something you personally experienced.
Well, it is, and I offer a fairly unique perspective in so much that early in my career I was called out for being a bully.
Really?
And greatest lesson in my life. And throughout my career, I've helped many people handle bullying situations. I've created psychologically safe work environments everywhere I've worked, and organizations that I've consulted with. And late in my career, I was targeted for blowing the whistle on a corrupt executive. So the reason I wrote the book is I was able to handle my situation to my satisfaction, but I went through a period of 18 months of sheer hell.
Wow.
And one thing that I could not find was closure. So I was spending a lot of negative energy dwelling on the situation. So I decided to turn that around and turn it into positive energy and help those people who are not as fortunate as I am to deal with what I think is a pretty serious and an epidemic in the workforce.
Absolutely.
So for 18 months, you said you were bullied.
Yes.
In the workplace. Specifically, what happened to you? Were you threatened?
Well, I was threatened. I received a death threat. I was followed. They were trying to find dirt on me to discredit me. I was blacklisted. I was shunned by associates, and it was just a horrible experience.
And it affects everything about us. I mean, a lot of us, you know, our careers are hopefully our passion, and it's what we enjoy doing. And if you're in that setting where you're miserable, it can sometimes affect your health and your home life as well. Did you experience that?
I did. I had symptoms that were consistent with post-traumatic stress disorder, and that's what the majority of people who are bullied face. And the implications of that are both physical, mental, obviously, but a lot of people take that home with them. And I've talked to many children, now adult children, of people who have been bullied, and the scars that has left, and for the target himself, their children, their spouse, it's not something that just goes away.
Right, right.
So you said that you were a whistleblower.
Yes.
On an executive. Do you stand by your decision?
Absolutely.
And what recommendation would you have for someone who might be watching who feels like, you know what, I want to do something like this?
Well, I would say that they should really strategize and do it in a safe manner and anonymously. A lot of people recommend that they go to to whistleblower hotlines or to human resources departments, and I don't recommend that. And the reason I don't, and the reason I don't is that there's a lot of credibility around the methods by which organizations get information, including wrongdoing. And in most of the situations, people do not trust the system. If they don't trust the boss, and by extension the organization, they will not trust the system. most people don't trust the Human Resources Department. And from what I've heard and research I've done, there's a reason for that. The Human Resource Department would be the natural choice, but unfortunately they are seen as part of the problem versus part of the solution. So what I recommend to people is to seek advice from others that they truly trust, and in a factual way bring the situation to the attention of people who should be aware.
Andrew, we're almost out of time. Real quickly, tell us, is this a bigger epidemic than we even realize? Have you found that in your research?
In my research, I found that that is the case. There's one statistic, and that shows that it's a Gallup poll. 70% of North American employees are not engaged.
I want to make sure that everybody knows about your book, and it is actually, matter of fact, we have the information on our website. It's called The Bully's Trap. Fascinating information. Andrew, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today, and I wish you much, much success.
Well, thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you.
You bet.
We'll see you back here tomorrow. Make it a great day. Bye-bye.